All right, Jose. I'm really excited about this video. I remember the first time that you came here to the States. We were in the garage of my old place, and we were talking about modular architecture. And actually, that was one of the first questions that I had for you when we made about how we could create a reusable model. And we're talking about the plugin architecture. And you actually put a homework for me that I actually have to go get the assembly and do something with it. And they couldn't know about each other in any way. So I'm really excited about this video. So I'm gonna let you to go for it, but I just want to say it brings me a lot of good memories.
Okay, Javier. Basically, I had this example on my mind for a long time. I remember that we did it together. That was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, who knows when. But I wanted to make sure that it continue working because, there are these parts of XAF that uh, that seems like crazy good, but there is not much people using them. So you wonder if they are still there because sometimes the documentation is not even there anymore. So
Yeah,
yesterday at night,
but funny enough, you have been in the road for like 4 months in this
yeah,
SARI training tour, and you actually have seen this in real
yeah,
case applications in actual system
yeah,
using by customers.
yeah. So that's where that is where I get the idea actually from because it's like, okay, let's review this again. I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. How does it work with Net 6? So okay, to not make the introduction so long, and I will continue talking about this, let me show you what we have. I think I'm sharing my screen already. You're seeing the
You
studio, right?
are, you are.
Okay, so the challenge was, okay, let's try to make a modular application, but do it 100% modular. So in this case, this is a Net Framework application, but this do work with Net 6. Uh, but I just wanted to make sure because the cases that we're reviewing right now is Net Framework, not Net 6, but we're going to move them to Net 6. So here I have this application, basically a SAF application. You see is the whole structure, module, module web, module win. So in here, if you see the business object, there is nothing actually. This is an empty application. So what I did is I double checked the documentation. It was hard to find it again. But then what they tell is just do a small modification on your program file. So what it changed is actually the setup. This is turned off by default because of the security concerns. You need to make sure that you're loading a module or a plugin that you know the origin because it can alter your data in some ways. So you just need to make sure where this coming from. So this is the change. It's really easy. So in the Windows application, you have the setup method. You have also the same in the web application. And the original one doesn't take any parameters. So the difference that you have to do here is that you need to pass the application name, which is I'm passing the same application name. You need to pass a connection string and a set of assemblies separated by semicolon. So those assemblies, I just put them here like in the modules entry. So we have the customers module and the invoicing module. So this will be loaded dynamically in general. And just to show you that there is nothing like hard-coded in here, I will comment out the original implementation so we can start like empty completely. So in this case, the application will not load anything from the file system. It will just execute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild this and run it. This should show just the empty shell of the application because there is nothing defined. The application is basically empty. So see, nothing there because there are no class defined actually in this application. So what you need to do in general is basically copy the DLLs files to the bin folder here. So just to show you what I did because I was lazy to copy the files all the time. These are the old type of projects, so unload project. And what I did is just a small task in the end that copy the output to the Windows application debug folder. So I will do it one by one so you can see how powerful this feature is. So the first module that I'm going to add is the customers module. Okay. And what I want you to notice is that this module will not compile when I compile the application. I need to do it manually because there is no reference. No one has reference to this project. So I need to compile it myself in order to generate the DLLs, and then the task that I show you will copy them to the file system. So now when I start this application, we'll have one business class, which is customers. So let's see that the demo effect didn't break the demo because you know how it is, right? Okay, now we have customer here. So it's magically loading the model, everything, the difference is doing the updater and everything. So it's super powerful approach as long as you can handle the logistic, right? Like for example, you need to compile it yourself because it's not going to be compiled when you compile the solution. And one other thing, let's do a more example complex. This is the 101, right? The one that like hello world for modules. So yesterday I say, I want to go deeper. I don't want to do like some so simple example. So what I did is I create a second module. And this second module is way more complex. Um, we have the master detail for the invoicing. And what I want to show you is that here, there is no customer property. I will do the association and everything in the setup method that XAF has something for that. So you can do like association between your other objects, even if they don't exist as reference. That's the beautiful part.
That's
So
beautiful.
let me show you the module here. So you have this method in every XAF module that can be like the AllNet framework or .NET, the new one. So see what I'm doing in here. I'm locating the invoice types info. Then I'm locating the customer types info. But for this one, I don't have a direct reference. So I need to do it by text, by the full class name. So I located the customer types info. Then I try to find the customer property inside of the invoice class. And if there is no there, I create the member customer and I tell the type, which type it is. And then I add the association attribute. And then I look for the invoice actually, and here I create the member. Um, in here, what I'm doing is I'm creating the collection of invoices inside of the customer. So you have to do like this kind of was the tricky part. You need to do the the generic type, which is kind of not so obvious at some moments, but it's just a simple like 6 lines of code, nothing difficult to do. So what will happen now is that XAF will load all the modules first. Once it has information for all the types, it will execute the setup method on each module, and then eventually the customized types info. There is where you can do relationship between modules that are not bound together by references. For example, here in the invoicing module or project, there is no reference to the customer module. So it's basically magic. They do all the reflection things for you. You only need to do this part on the method that is doing the associations by code. So now that what we need to do is reveal this. So it will copy the DLLs to the bin folder here, and then go to the config file and just put the other module there. And you know what is the magic of this? That there is no difference on performance. It's exactly the same because that's how .NET do it in the end. I was checking the domain resolution and assembly resolution methods, and loading the modules like this is exactly the same as having references. So now we have invoices. If we open the invoice, this data is from my test yesterday. I can see the customers here. And if I see the customer, I can see the collection of invoices, even though the customer object doesn't have that property. There is no DLL references. So it's pure magic. This is a forgotten feature. It's been there since day one, I think, but people don't use it in general. But I just wanted to bring it to the spotlight again because it's so nice. And we have found so many systems here in Mexico that can use this functionality that why not to take it back, right? It's like, and one other beautiful thing, this also works on web. So, I mean, sometimes we are reinventing the wheel by doing plugin systems, blah, 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 blah. XAF has something really robust already built in. No need to do anything extra. So I see that you're smiling, so it looks like you like the example. So that's good news for me.
Absolutely, Jose. And actually, I don't think that there is any other comment that I have to do. I think that you have said it all, and I think that this is a beauty.
Yeah. So in general, if someone had problems with this idea, with this like architecture, you kind of need to know the inside of stuff, like how the types info works. But beside that is pure magic. There is no other way to describe it.
All right, guys. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. I always enjoy this type of dark magic a lot. So see you guys in the next video.
See you.